So welcome back to the series, guys, of Flutter Blog App with Firebase Storage and Firestore. In the last part, we have completed the screen as well as uploading the whole data of image and the author name, title, description to our database, basically uploading the text files in the Cloud Firestore and the image in the storage. And we uploaded the image, got the download URL, and then we uploaded the download URL over here. So in this part, we are going to fetch that data and show. So this is basically how it's going to look like. Okay, so that's the end result we want to achieve in this video. And if you haven't watched the previous parts, I will highly recommend. The link to the playlist will be in the description, so go out and check it out, and yeah, start from the beginning, and it will be really helpful for yourself. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing which we have to do, so if we go to the home screen right now, okay, so we want to get a list over here. So the first thing which we should do, we should fetch the data. So we have created this method which through which we have created a function of add data. Similarly, we are going to create a function for get data. So I'm just going to call it get data, and I am going to say return. It's going to be Firebase. Okay, it's going to be firestore.instance. So yeah, firestore.instance.collection, and we are going to use blogs. Okay, the same path, the same collection we are which we are uploading the data, we are going to fetch the data. So I'm going to say get documents. It's that simple, guys. It's a one-line code, and of course, because this is a future, guys, so we have to make it asynchronous and have a wait over here. Okay, perfect. We are going to save that, go to the home, and we are going to create a new query snapshot, guys, because that's what it's going to return. And to this snapshot, I'm going to call it blogs snapshot. Okay, now to provide the values, or basically getting these values and providing, or kind of providing these values to blog snapshot, what we are going to use is init method. So if you understand the life cycle, basically what happens whenever our app gets started, this is the function which is going to be called. So what I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to use this method object, which is CRUD methods. CRUD methods dot get data, and then I'm going to say then, and we are going to use result. This is something which you can name anything. This is just basically what it is returning, right? So now what I'm going to do is whatever it is returning, we are going to save that to the blog snapshot. So I'm going to call blog snapshot is equals to result. Okay, so hopefully we have the data now. Now the next step is creating the list and all, because right now if we go to the body, you can see it's a container. Okay, so we need a whole body over here, a list view, right? So what for a list view, we also need a particular tile of it, right? The basic structure is basically we have multiple tiles, and that concludes to a list. So we are going to create another widget over here. I'm going to call it, let's say, blogs list, and let's return, and this we are going to say return, and I'm going to use a container. Inside of this, I'm going to use a child. So guys, I can directly return list view, but what will happen if I will directly return the list view? There are some complex or some basic things which are going to be trouble you if you are adding something additionally. For example, this is very basic, like direct a list view, but in many cases you are going to add, let's say, another list view above of this, which is going to be like horizontal, let's say like horizontal image view, or it can be another object, another widget, right? It can be image, it can be text, something which you have above of it, right? So that's why I'm going to use a container, and inside of it I'm going to use a column. So if we can use the list view inside of it, it will be very easy for you. If you can like show it in this, you can show it everywhere. Okay, so now what we are going to say inside of this, I'm going to say list view dot builder. Okay, before building the list, we need to have that tile, right? What is the tile what I'm talking about? I'm talking about this, guys. We have to have this tile. Okay, so if we talk about this tile, this tile represent kind of a sandwich. So yeah, of course the sandwich above and bottom part is not same in this one. So how is the sandwich? So this sandwich consists of the bottom part to be an image, and then there is a container above of it which is having a color of black with an opacity of 0.2. Above of it is another container with a column, and that column can have 3 widget, which is text. Okay, so now if we talk about the different styling which we have, how we are going to provide the border radius. So let's do that. Okay, so in the home, we are going to come at the bottom of it, out of everything, and I'm going to create a new stateless widget. I'm going to call it blogs tile. Okay, so in this tile, what we want to create this. So let me hide that phone for a second and let's focus on this. This is what we want to achieve. Okay, so how we are going to do that? We are going to say child, and the first thing which I can see, this is a stack, this is a sandwich. So I want to create a sandwich. So this is how we create a sandwich. The first thing which we need is an image.network. So all these images will be loaded through a URL, right? The download URL which we are saving in our cloud Firestore, this one. Okay, so if you haven't watched the last video, I've actually showed you this as well, that this is the image which we are saving and it can be loaded through this. So yeah, you can see. So now what we want is basically, we don't want to have this kind of one value provided. What we will be providing this value for each and every tile, which will be different, right? So we are going to create these different variables for this. This is going to be image URL, then it's going to be what we have, then we have the title, then we have a description, and then we have the author name. Okay, so that's done. Now we are going to create a constructor so that we can accept all these details, and from this specifically I am going to use a named parameters. So what is named parameters, guys? I'm just going to surround all my parameters with this curly braces. What this does, you can name the parameter and then you can provide the value. I will show you it in the next steps. So this will be image URL, and also let me first do this dot title, this dot description, and this dot author name. And also I want to make sure these are a required parameters, so I'm just going to say required. So what is this required is going to do is, if I'm not providing any one of these or none of these, what will happen is it will kind of have kind of something like this, it will be highlighted. So I'll be showing you when we are going to add this, but before that let me use these values. So I'm going to say image URL, that's what we want. Okay, so what is the center part of our sandwich? It's a container, as I said before. It's going to be a container. We don't need any child in this, guys. We just want to provide a height to it, because as you may understand, we have in the last part we discussed about it as well. When we are adding the blog, we have a height of 150 for each. So that's exactly what we want to provide this one, and to this one as well. Okay, so we have this height, we want to provide it a color, but I'm not going to provide it directly through this. Why? Because we need this border radius as well, guys, right? So how we are going to use the border radius? We are going to use that through decoration. Now if you are going to use a decoration and side by side you are providing the color over here, it's going to be an error. Okay, so what we are going to do, if we are using a decoration, we will say color, and I'm going to use colors dot black 45 dot width opacity 0 point something 2 or 3. I think that will be more than enough. And if we say that, that's what is the center part of our sandwich. So the upper part is a container, and that container consists of a column, and that column have children. What are these children? These are basically triplets. Same widget, and it's going to be the first one is the title. So let's call it title. The next text is going to be the description, and the next one to be the author name. So before providing all the details, I usually prefer to load the data first with a very basic structure, so that we are able to see the data side by side, and we can basically customize it to our requirements. So the basic structure of our block tile is complete. Let me just do one more thing. I'm going to surround my image with a widget which is going to be clip r rect. So we are using this to provide a border radius, guys. So we haven't provided the border radius in this one as well, so let me do that as well. Border radius, and it's going to be border radius dot circular. Is it okay? There is it. I'm going to just copy this line and have it over here and use a comma, and I'm going to save that. Okay, so the next step is moving to the widget which we are creating. So this, where is it? This is the widget. So this is the widget we were creating to load all these tiles in a ListView. So we were creating a builder for a ListView. So the first thing which it needs is the item count. So we have this blocks snapshot, guys, right? So this is how or this is the data which we have. So we are going to say blogs now a snapshot dot documents dot length. Okay, so in this snapshot we are asking for the documents and we are asking the length of it. So the builder consists of two things. It's going to be the context and the index. Okay, so in the index is basically the value of where it is and something like that. Okay, so we are missing something. Let me, what is this? Is it fine? Context, and we are going to say index, and then we are going to return the tile which we created. Where are you? This is the block style. So this is our sandwich. So let's provide all the different details the sandwich needs. The first is the author name. Okay, so how we are going to get the data? Similarly, how we get it from here. So we are going to say my snapshot, which is blogs snapshot dot documents, and now we want a particular specified index document. So I'm going to say index. So through this we will be able to get a particular index document. Then I'm going to say dot, what do we want? We want the author name. So I'm going to say data, and in that data I want author name. One thing is very important, guys, make sure that whatever you are writing over here, it should directly match with these keys, because in the last videos you may have already I have explained this, that these are basically key value pairs. We created a map and we uploaded the map. So here, as we can see, we have used the camel case method. Similarly, we are using over here as well. So let me do that. So we will use a semicolon after this whole tile, and let's provide other values to it. So right now you can see it is showing kind of an error. Okay, so I was aware about the Android Studio of like highlighting thing. For this one, it's showing kind of this curly line, and that that doesn't matter. It's basically showing you that there can be some thing which we should do. Okay, so what we want the title now. So I'm going to say title, I'm going to say blog snapshot dot documents, and we are going to go and get that index. Okay, and dot data, and that data is going to be, okay, that's going to be title. Okay, next is going to be the description. Description is going to simply be blog snapshot dot documents and index dot data, and I'm going to provide that description because we are not using the whole. Let me see. Yeah, so we are using DESC, we are using title, we are using img URL. So let's make sure that we are going to do the same. So I'm going to say img URL blog snapshot dot documents, and then index, and then dot data, and we are going to call the same. No, we haven't copied it. So yeah, so that's all what we have. So I'm going to save that, and let me open up the app. So this is the app. Now the data is not loaded. Why? Because it's going to be loaded when it's going to launch. That's where the method is. So I'm going to restart the app so that this function will be called and it will get all the data. And let's see what is the status update. Is it completed or is it not done? So basically, if it will be working, we can continue and design our blog style. So basically our sandwich to look how we want. Okay, is it really loading? I can't see. Am I doing any mistake? Just give me a second. Okay, now it's syncing fine. I think it's loaded again. Just give me a, okay, so I have created the whole widget, but I'm not loading it anywhere. The dumbest mistake to do, but so this is how we will do that. I'm going to save that, and hopefully now it should be visible. Okay, that where is my floating action button? Can you please give that to me back? It took it. So we are returning that, right? Okay, so it is saying the getter documents was called on null. That's interesting. So let's see. We have .get data, then we have then we have result, and then we have the getter documents was called on null. Where are you? Null. Getter documents. This is the one, guys. So it was called, okay, got it. So the thing is, we want to show this all, but we want to make sure if the data is not loaded, because the data is not like instantly loaded, right? That's the reason why we use the future, basically await or async, because it's going to take some time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply have a condition over here that where is it? Blogs snapshot. Okay, Yeah, blog snapshot is not equals to null, question mark. So I'm asking, if blog snapshot is not equals to null, then show this, or else if it's equals to null, which is the other condition, we are going to say circular progress. Where are you, man? Circular progress indicator. And also just providing it alignment so that it's not somewhere any, in the corner. Alignment at center. Okay, if I save that now and go over here, it's not showing that, neither this and this, neither this. So let me reload it again and let's see what happens. Okay, so that's above there. So the height of the container is pretty small, not good, but anyways, I'm going to say main axis alignment, main axis alignment. By the way, I can just simply give this condition outside of this so that we don't have to worry about the size, because the column is the one which like kind of shrinks the size of it. Okay, the other thing is we need to use a shrink wrap, otherwise it would have problem, I think. Okay, I'm just saving that. Okay, so this is a good news. The image, why are you not loaded? Maybe the internet is the issue, but let me make sure. I am calling img url and oh my god, guys, look at this, we have gotten that. Okay, so one thing which is important, as I was saying, that the loading was here, we want that to be in the center. So what we can do, we can get this condition of blog snapshot not equals to null, we are going to place that over here for the column, and we are going to take this container and place that after the column. Okay, so now that's fine. Okay, so as I said, the basic structure is working fine. So now it's time to design this. Let me come over here so that we can give both of the space they deserve and design it up. Okay, so the first thing is it should take the whole space rather than just taking. We also have some kind of padding. So basically this screenshot is from this place to this place, guys. I know this color looks same, but looks the same, not same. Okay, so we need to provide this. So I think it's taking the whole width, but it's not getting fitted in that. So I'm just going to provide it the property of fit. Where is the image? Over here. So inside of that, I'm going to say fit, and we are going to say box fit dot cover. So what cover does is basically try to cover all the space which it have. Okay, so it's not having that width as well. So what I will do, I will provide the width as well. So what will be the width? So I want this width to be taking up the whole space of the display, as we did in the last video, guys. So I'm going to say media query dot of context dot size dot width. Okay, so now you can see it's taking the whole space. Okay, so that part is done. What's the next step? I want a little bit of padding in this, guys. Okay, so one very good thing is you don't have to surround your list view with a padding. List view directly have one. So I'm just going to go over there. I'm going to say padding. I'm going to say edge insist dot symmetrical. I'm going to say horizontal, and around 8 is what we provided. I'm not sure. So let's just horizontal, and I'm going to give it 8. It's quite small, so I'm just going to go with 16. I think it looks fine. Okay, so in each and every tile we also have some kind of bottom space, like margin, you can say, right? So I'm going to say margin. I'm going to say edge insets dot only, because we want only from one direction, guys, right? Not from top and bottom, just from one. That's what I'm preferring. You can go with symmetric as well. So I'm going to say bottom, and let's provide it something like 8. I think that will be good enough. We can go more, 16. Yeah, that's exactly it. So now what I can notice is, guys, don't compare these with this, because I think this image is not that kind of awesome as this one. So I'm just going to get rid of this. It means it's like it's disapproving how awesome our app should be looking. So I'm just going to delete this document. And also you can see it's not directly synced up. It's not going to delete itself. We have to restart the app. So this is something which we will be covering in the next part, so don't miss that. Okay, so you can see the loading is now in the center because we have updated that, and it should show us only one tile sandwich. And let me add one more sandwich. Where are you? Okay, and I'm going to give the author name my name, Sanskar Ferrari. Title, let's give it a title of Dream Travel Destination, and a description of Dream Travel Location, and I'm going to upload that. Okay, so it's going to take some time. In the meanwhile, let me show you what we are going to do. So we have this width, we have provided the width, we have also given the this one. Now what I think is we should kind of decrease this. I think the height of this is more than this one, so let me have a look at it. If we go over here, it's that, and if we go over here, it's that. We can increase the height if we want, but I think it's fine. So what should we do? Okay, I think 150 is what we were using in the last app. Okay, let me close this. Not closing, I think. What do you think, guys? Which one looks best? Do let me know in the comments. Like, should I increase the size? I think I should. So I'm just going to do this, and if I'm going to do that in this one, I should also do that in the create blog where we use this. We are going to save find 150, and I'm going to update that to 170, and let's do that. Save. Okay, so do we have any other? No results. So I have updated over there as well. So we have this 150, and I'm going to do one thing now, guys. Save this. Okay, so it's now bigger. Now we want these all to be in the center, so I'm going to say column main axis alignment dot center. So that's going to align it here center. Then we want to align it in the horizontally center as well, so I'm going to say cross axis alignment dot center, and going to save that. Okay, now the reason why it's not in the center, because the size of the column should be will be like this much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to provide the container a width of media query. Where are you, man? Where are you? This one. Exactly, this is the exact width we want to provide to this one. So now you can see it's in the center. Okay, so now it's time to style the these triplets. So I'm going to say style and text. Okay, where are you? Text style, and I'm going to say, okay, so what do we want in this? So the color is already what we want, so that's not what we want. We want the font size. We want the font size to be, I think 22 this is. Okay, can you update, man? Please. Okay, this is updated. We want to give it some font weight. I think there is some. What about 500? Okay, it looks fine. I'm going to give it some sized box, just to give it a little bit of space between them, of 4. Okay, let me copy that and provide it before this one as well. And the size, okay, this should have some styling as well, means his brother have it, so he should too. I'm going to say font size, and that's going to be how much 16. Are you looking same? No, he doesn't, so we have to go 17. Are you looking same? I think so. Okay, one thing which I don't like is the starting with small letter. I don't know, that doesn't kind of look good, but anyways. Okay, so we have this, we have that. We can increase the font size, and also we can decrease the font weight for this, so it kind of stands out a little bit more. So we can give it something like this. And why is this looking quite big? I'm not sure. Yes. Okay, okay, I think the size of this text can be bigger, like this. Okay, let me have the same text so that we will be able to arrange it properly. What is this? This is Miami Beach. Update. I'm going to reload this. So we have already provided the size to this, and yeah, major of the things are done, guys. Let me just have a load it and show it to you guys. And yeah, make sure to watch the next video, guys, because in the next video we will be discussing something very important, which is the streams. Through streams you can provide a really great experience to the users, because what will happen, it will be a real-time sync of the data, the exact copy what you have in the online, right? So I think the internet is causing the problem. Why? Okay, so let's just give it a time. I'll be right back once it is done. So finally miracle happened and the images are loaded now. So if we see, I think we are pretty close, right? Okay, so yeah, the video is done, and in the next one we are going to use the streams, and we are going to make this data sync with how the data is on the database of Firestore. So basically, if we update anything, if we delete anything over there, it will be directly shown over here in the real time, right? So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.